In today's video, I'm going to share 10 ways to protect your energy from narcissists, even family. Now, I've been inspired to create this video because I've been going through the most profound awakening of my entire life. I've been having a lot of big realizations and breakthroughs, and it's led me to realize I have some people very close to me that are narcissistic. And so I wanted to create this video to help other people protect themselves from narcissistic energy, because I know what it's like to have narcissists around you, and I know how they operate as well. So the first way to protect your energy is to learn the signs of narcissistic behavior. Now, awareness is the key, because awareness gives you the upper hand. If you know what to look for, narcissists become very easy to spot. Now, if you don't know what to look for, you're like, I don't know what the red flags are, I'm new to this sort of information. That's all good. I have a video that shares the 10 classic signs of narcissistic behavior, and I will link it at the end of this video so you can check that out, learn more about what the red flags are. And again, educating yourself on this topic is what gives you the upper hand. So I highly recommend watching that video. And now we're going to go into the second way to protect yourself, and that is to cut them off completely. It's pretty straightforward, right? Like, if I know someone's a narcissist, I see those red flags, I don't want to know them. I cut them off. Get rid of them. It's the easiest way to protect your energy from narcissistic people. However, it's not always so straightforward. We can't always just cut a narcissistic person off. We may be stuck in the workplace with a boss that's narcissistic. You may be stuck living with a narcissistic person and you have no choice, you've got nowhere else to live. And so if you can't cut them off completely, that's when we go into number 3, which is to create distance. So I have, narcissistic people close to me that I can't cut off, unfortunately, because that is the best way to deal with them. And that's what I usually do. So instead, when it's someone that you just can't cut off, you create distance as much as possible. Create as much space between you and that person. Have the least amount to do with them as possible. And that's what I've started to do. I've started just creating that distance. I don't talk to them as much. I don't reach out to them the same way anymore. I just kind of keep to myself as a way to just protect my energy. So create that distance. Now, number 4 is to set strong boundaries. Strong boundaries is like a repellent for narcissistic people. Narcissistic people like to target people that have weak boundaries. And I was the people-pleasing empath. I say I was because I've been working on shedding that people-pleasing mentality. But I was the people-pleasing empath that had weak boundaries. And if you have weak boundaries like I did, you become a very easy target for narcissistic people. And so, when you start setting those strong boundaries, like if you are someone with strong boundaries and narcissistic people, they, test you and they realize that, this person's got strong boundaries, I can't manipulate them, they will leave that person alone. They'll go find an easier target, someone that's got weak boundaries. So again, the repellent for narcissistic people is strong boundaries. And if you're like me, if you're like the empath people pleaser that has weak boundaries, this is just something that you need to work on. Like, I've had to work on it for myself, getting more comfortable with setting boundaries without feeling guilty. As the people pleaser, you usually will feel guilty for setting boundaries. And so I've had to work on like I said, shedding the people-pleasing mentality, getting comfortable with setting boundaries, leaning into that tension, not feeling guilty for it. And it's just a process that you go through. It's just something you work on and you practice and you get better with in time. And now we're going to go into number 5. The 5th way to protect your energy is to keep conversations surface level. So when I realized this person that's close to me is narcissistic, there was a kind of like a clue given to me that led me to realize that they're narcissistic. And that was me actually opening up, having this sort of heart-to-heart moment, sharing something vulnerable and personal, and I got completely shut down. This person, like, they minimized me, they dismissed, what I was dealing with. They showed a lack of empathy. And so their reaction to me having this heart-to-heart kind of pissed me off, but that is what led me to figure them out. And so once I realized that about this person, I was like, never again. I'm never having a heart-to-heart with that person again. I'm never having deep conversations. Keep everything surface level. Talk about the weather, like just really generic things like, oh, did you catch that movie that just came out? Like keep it surface level. Don't share anything vulnerable or personal with these people. Don't share anything about what's going on in your personal life. So for me, I won't share anything that's going on in my personal life, but also like what's going on with my business, because the less they know about you and what's going on in your personal life, the less they can fuck up. If they know all the details of what's going on in your life, because of the way narcissistic people operate, they will try to create problems for you, especially if they're jealous of you. And so what they don't know, they can't fuck up. So don't tell them anything. Just keep conversations surface level. Don't have those deep heart-to-hearts. Now, number 6 is a really important step as well. This is understand how their minds work. So understanding how a narcissistic person's mind works also gives you the upper hand. It prevents you from getting sucked into their toxic games. And again, this is a great way to protect your energy, to keep yourself high vibe and not getting sucked into like this low vibe drama. And so the way a narcissistic person, the way their mind works is they believe they're superior. They believe they're above everyone else. They're better than everyone. They believe they're always right. They know everything. They are very insecure people. So narcissism comes from having a fragile ego. It's from having a wounded ego. And so they're very insecure people, and they get jealous very easily. So I know that this narcissist that's close to me that I figured out is jealous of me, and I figured it out because they've been talking shit about me behind my back, basically backstabbing me, and I've been showing up as a great person for them. Like I've gone out of my way doing heaps of nice things for them. I've been really supportive, but they can't do that back for me. Instead, they're basically being two-faced, smiling in my face, being fake, and then talking shit behind my back. And it's because they're insecure and they're jealous, and them talking shit behind my back was them trying to make themselves feel superior. And they're also doing what's called smear campaigning. So it's where they try to control how other people view you. So that's why they were talking shit about me. They're trying to control how other people view me as an attempt to make themselves seem superior next to me. So it's understanding that like this is how their minds work. They think they're better than everyone. They're manipulative, so they will go out of their way to manipulate you or manipulate people against you. And if they have the opportunity, like if you're succeeding more in life and they're jealous of you and you trigger their insecurities, if they had the opportunity to sabotage you, to bring you back down, they will. So that's why it's really helpful to understand how their minds work. So then you don't get sucked into their games. So they think they're better than everyone, they're superior. All they care about is their image. So they just care about how other people perceive them. So it's like, look at me, look at all the things I own, look at my flash house, my flash cars, look at how successful I look. Even if they're not actually successful and they're just putting this fake picture out there, you know, that's what a lot of the times they'll be doing, is just putting a fake image out there, trying to control how other people are perceiving them, and they want to be perceived as superior. So understanding that, again, is just helps you to just have that upper hand, not get sucked into their toxic games. Now, number 7 is don't jade. Jade means justify, argue, defend, or explain. This is because narcissistic people feed off reactions and they will twist your words. And so when you don't jade, you don't justify, you don't argue, you don't defend, you don't explain, you don't give them a reaction, the narcissist has nothing to work with. So that's like one of the best ways to deal with a narcissist if you can't cut them off, is, you know, create as much distance, but also if you're around them, don't jade. Don't give them any reactions, don't give them any ammo to work with. Just very short, like, you want to be emotionally detached. Even if they try to push your buttons. Okay. Why are you wearing that? That looks funny today. Okay. You don't give them anything and they will hate it. Like, it'll be eating them up on the inside. Now, number 8 is document interactions if needed. So either take mental notes or even written notes. Keep everything documented as a way to keep you grounded in truth and not fall for gaslighting. So gaslighting is another, narcissistic behavior where they will try to make you question your own sanity and question reality. And so the term gaslighting comes from like way back in the day when we had the gas stoves, and like the husband would mess with the wife's mind by like maybe she would have cooked a meal and then she's turned the gas stove off and she's walked away, and then the husband will turn the gas stove back on, and then she comes back out and she sees that the gas stove was on and she's like, I swear I turned this off. Like, what the heck? Just messing with, her mind, making her think she's going crazy when actually the narcissistic person's just fucking with her, And so that's where the term gaslighting comes from. But basically narcissists will make you like question your own sanity, question your own memory, question your own reality. And I'll share an example of this from when I was with my narcissistic ex. So he had these butcher knives because he was a butcher, and he had about 2 or 3 of them. And he told me to use a specific butcher knife to like pierce the jar lid. So you just bang the tip into the jar lid so you can unscrew the jar. And he would say, use this knife. And I was like, okay. And I'm the sort of person, like, I know myself, I know the type of person I am. I'm the sort of person who is very good at taking note of details. So if someone says, use this, not that, I literally will take the mental note and I will remember. That's the way I am, and I know that about myself. And so one day I pulled the knife out that he told me to use, and I go, boom, and pierced the lid, and he turned around and had a go at me for using the wrong knife. And I'm going, no, that's the knife you told me to use. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's this knife. And that was him gaslighting me, because I know myself. I know I'm good at taking note of like details and what, I should be using or shouldn't be using. And that was him attempting to mess with my mind, making me think I'm going crazy. So that's an example of gaslighting. And so this is why it's really important, if you're around a narcissistic person who will most likely use gaslighting tactics, if you're documenting everything, like if you're writing everything down and they try to gaslight you, you can go back and look at that and, not, again, stay grounded in truth. And it's another great way to protect yourself, because narcissistic people, they play games, man. And you don't want to get sucked into those games. Now, number 9, the 9th way to protect your energy is trust your intuition. When I was in a relationship with a narcissistic person, I didn't know that they were a narcissist. They actually taught me what narcissism was, because I didn't even know it was a thing. And during the relationship, I remember, this was even before I had a spiritual awakening, I was quite intuitive without realizing it. And my intuition started speaking to me during this relationship, where I just started getting that feeling of, I think I'm being manipulated. I feel like I'm being manipulated. And then I started Googling signs of manipulation, because my intuition was telling me I was being manipulated. And so your intuition will be talking to you as well. And sometimes it just depends on like how tuned in you are with it. Some people, I guess, are more tuned in than others. Some people may feel disconnected from their intuition. But all of us have the ability of strengthening our intuition. It's just something you put into practice. I've been practicing it myself for years now, but when I was with the narcissist and I was receiving that intuition of I'm being manipulated, that was long before I had a spiritual awakening. So, and like before I even worked on my intuition. So it can still speak to you. And it's about just feeling into your body and trusting what your body's telling you. So if your intuition's, if you're getting, sort of like these signs or inklings inside of you that something's not right with this person, listen to that. And the last one, number 10, is don't try to change or fix them. The key is to accept that they won't change. And you can't force change on these people. Narcissists, unfortunately, most likely won't change, because in order to change and to improve yourself, you need to be able to self-reflect and take accountability. And narcissistic people aren't capable of that. In their mind, everyone else is the problem. It's not them. And so that's why they won't do the work on themselves. That's why they won't ever change. And it's not up to another person to try to force change onto them or try to fix them. So the best way to protect your energy is accept them as they are. Apply the other tips that I mentioned, cut them off or create distance or whatever. And focus on what you can control, which is your boundaries. Like, get more comfortable with setting strong boundaries and focusing on your own healing and your own journey. So those are the 10 ways to protect your energy from narcissists. Let me know if they resonate. If you're dealing with narcissists at the moment, if this video was helpful, let me know in the comments. If you got value, smash the like button. And I'm going to leave a follow-up video here. The 10 classic signs of narcissistic behavior. So if you want to learn what the red flags are to look for, which again, this gives you the upper hand, check that video out and have an awesome day. Peace.